Welcome, Libra. This is your weekly focus, April the 29th through to May the 5th, 2019. My name is Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. And let's get right to the energy of the cards, right to the energy of the week. We have Saturn going retrograde on Monday. We have the new moon in Taurus on Friday. Mercury will be going into Taurus next week, early next week. But before it does, it talks to Saturn, Pluto, the North Node, the South Node, um, and Jupiter. I believe Jupiter as well. So Mercury is essentially talking to the big planets, and they're all in retrograde, right? So I'm not sure about the nodes. I don't think the nodes are, but everything else is. The planets are. Look at what comes out for you. Out of the gate comes the Ace of Cups. Now, this could represent service to others. So you could be expanding your life in some way that you are going to be a service to others. Maybe more so, or this is a new beginning for you altogether. It's something within the community or a group of friends. Maybe it's something to do with work and you're rallying to raise money for a cause or a person or a family. This could also be love and new love and the growth of love and the commitment of love, the passion in love, and new starts, new territories in that field. It could be work and career. It could be a passion of yours coming to life, opportunities exploding. So an ace is a path yet to come. An ace is a path that is a new path that's awaiting your presence, and we are to prepare for it. Now, we do have the new moon on Friday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, yes, we want to do new moon affirmations. I do have my own new moon affirmations. The link is wherever the little box is on your screen. I usually put the link in there. So if you want to use it as your guide, then thank you very much. But I would prefer you get a piece of paper and a pen and just write down a couple of affirmations that you can really relate to, that it sounds like your truth. And you can say it with conviction and meaning and emotion. And make your own, okay? And have your own little new moon affirmations for yourself, personal affirmations, and leading up to this and during. So all this week, set aside some times for things that you want to manifest in your life. Goals and dreams, ambitions, love. And yes, where you can be of service. Maybe there's something that you've always wanted to do, you wanted to create. All of a sudden, everything starts to fall into place. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, this card is a beautiful card because it always represents better things coming in, newer, lighter energy coming in. So there's definitely a new path opening up to you, and this new moon on Friday will probably highlight something. This is moving into good energy, changing of seasons, new paths moving forward, applying your past knowledge, your talents, abilities onto the new path, the new opportunity, the new relationship. We have the Nine of Wands. Now, I think this is more so when it comes to work and career. Um, Maybe something you do within the community. It could be your spirituality. It could be your health and well-being. But this is where you have walked many miles in order to get to now. And along the way, you've had great successes, some failures. Things go wrong. Things go awry. And it gave you challenges and learning opportunities. And from that, each of those paths, you gained a wisdom, a strength, a knowledge. So each one of those wands at the back row there represent a path that you have walked in order to get to here, in order to get to now, this moment in time. And as you can see, they all stand strong and straight. They all have growth on them. So we did what we were supposed to on each of those paths. We were to learn, we were to grow, we were to develop, to mature, to gain knowledge, to gain wisdom. And now we look at this little gnarly wand in our hands. And I mean, it's short, it's stumpy, it's all twisted. And well, that's how each of those paths started out. So know that what lays in front of you, yes, will have challenges. Will have learning experiences. And so you are summoning up your courage here. You are drawing out your inner warrior. You're sizing up the path forward. You're weighing out different options. Something brand new could come in right now. Okay, we start with the Ace of Cups. That's brand new. And then we have the new moon to even confirm more so that something new and out of the blue. I mean, it sits on top of the Wheel of Fortune going into a brand new direction, a brand new season, a brand new energy. So this could be something just out of the blue. A conversation that opens up a door or sparks an idea within you. The Star. Wow. This is about making the impossible possible. There is so much magic and potential right now for you. Wow. So it's about dreaming the impossible, and yet it's grounded in some way when it's the Star. It's knowing the way to go forward. It's a clarity. It's an understanding that comes in. So all those paths, maybe meditate on your past a little bit and how you got to here. And maybe some of that wisdom comes together. There is a story of a young girl who spun beautiful threads and ropes with her father, and she was of age to be married, and he said, "Daughter, let's go on a journey and find a husband for you." And so off they went. And the boat was shipwrecked, and she was taken as and sold on the slave market, and a merchant took pity on her and thought I could probably give her a safer and better life, and I could use the help. So he took her in, and he taught her how to make very strong, coarse cloths. And they would go and they would sell it, these huge tarps. And so on one of their journeys, they were actually overtaken by pirates, and the pirates took her captive. And at this point, she's like, oh, every time I get somewhere in my life and I start to learn something and I start to feel, something else happens, and these pirates take her, and they had her working on building the large masts for the sails and mending them and fixing them and shaping them and constructing them. And one night, of course, once again, there's this violent storm, and she is the only survivor, and she's washed upon the beach. And she's now like, oh, why do you do this to me? Every time, over and over again. I finally accept where I am, and then you go and you throw me a curveball, and I have to learn all over again. And little did she know that on the land that she had landed, the emperor had known of a tale of this woman, this mysterious woman that would show up and build her a thing called a tent. And it would be the grandest thing and give him much honor and respect. the emperor. So he would have his scouts every so often going up and down the beach trying to find this woman washed up on shore. And so, of course, she's found, and they say, we need to take you to our emperor. And she's like, yeah, I know the routine. Let's go. And she gets in front of the emperor, and he tells her about this tale. And he says, could you build such a thing? And she thought, well, yeah, through her travels, and she knew what these tents looked like. So she said, of course I can. And he said, this is wonderful. What do you need? What can I do? And she says, well, first we need some very strong rope. And he goes, oh, we have nothing like that. She goes, okay. She says, so I need all this equipment and I will make it. So she made the strong rope and taught the others how to help and pitch in. And she goes, now I need some very coarse cloth. And again, the empress says, we have nothing like that. She says, that's okay. We can create it. We can make it. I know how to do that. And she started to incorporate everybody into building these large panels of tarp. And she says, okay, we're all set. Now we just need some big wooden poles. And he goes, oh, we have nothing of the sort in our kingdom. And she says, that's okay. I know how to make them. And away she went, and they made the mast. And when it was all completed, it was the most marvelous, wonderful, colorful tent that anybody had ever seen, and brought the emperor so much stature and authority just by this grandeur of the tent. And he goes back to her and he says, what can I do for you? He says, you've given me wealth beyond my imaginings, and the respect and where my kingdom's going now. What can I do for you? And she says, well, I started off a very long time ago with my father to find myself a husband. I guess I would like a husband. And he says, marry me. And she says, well, okay. So even though each one of those life journeys, each one of those paths looked like they didn't come together, like they didn't create something, come into unity and serve as one purpose going forward. And that could very well be what that wand is for love, relationships. Oh, it's about give and take. It's about the balance. What do you give in the relationship? What are your obligations, your responsibilities, your duties within the relationship? Whether it's a lover, a partnership, a best friend, maybe a coworker. And what do you get in return? And is there a balance? If we feel that we've been pulling a little bit away from the relationship, maybe it's time to really step back into that relationship and make it magical and wonderful, and bring the romance and the sparkle, um, and just the pure love of the relationship. That would bring in so much. Um, I'm looking at the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Cups being connected to this card. So love for you might be helping others. I get a strong service for others here throughout this whole reading. So maybe it's the next door neighbor you help. Maybe it's coaching somebody at work. Maybe it's being a mentor for a child. But in some way being of service to another or many. And life has been preparing you for this. And it could be that you meet somebody that really opens this up to you. Dream the impossible. Seriously, it's the impossible can be made possible now. And it's finding the balance in relationships, the harmony. And what are the obligations? What are the responsibilities? What is the feeling of safety or security within that relationship? Trust. I'm only stuck here only because we have the Ace of Cups, but the Ten of Cups is right in the middle. But then we have the Six of Pentacles, which is kind of arguing those two cards a little bit rather than going with the flow of the story. But perhaps by understanding the balance that you have within the relationships, um, you know, what you do for each other, how you allow each other to grow, how you support each other, how you love each other. Is it reciprocated? Is there a balance? Maybe they have nothing to give and it's just their smile and knowing that they're okay because you did something is more than enough to bring in the balance. How it lifts you up, raises your energy. But in some way you're enlightened upon a new path when it comes to how you grow your relationships or your commitment to the relationship, how you are of service in the relationship. And it really turns you into, no matter what it is, it's very positive. So I would give my relationships in my life thought, contemplation on where I want them to grow, of how I want them to inspire me and how I need to inspire them. Our final card is the King of Swords. He's been kind of popular, so he might show up in your moon or your rising reading, or he's been showing his face quite a bit. We really have to watch. Aries is in Mercury all this week, and so our actions can be a little abrupt. Our words can definitely be a little abrupt. They can come out defensive. They can come out offensive. We get a little narrow-minded. And I said that again, narrow-minded, and I don't mean narrow-minded, a narrow focus on where we want to go. It's about, we have to remember to keep those blinders off right now because there is so much potential. I mean, we have the Star card and the Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Cups. I mean, Nine of Wands even. We may be regressing into our past a little bit and re-examining some choices and decisions and what we've learned and where we've grown, but when he comes out, we can kind of forget about those things and get very narrow in our perspective of where we need to go. And if it doesn't align perfectly with what we see in front of us, we cut it out. We push it away. We deny its existence. So we do have to remember to back it up, count to 10. Some words just can't be unspoken. Some actions can't be undone. So we want to think things through. Now this is a dynamite, beautiful energy to give you energy, to give you that vitality, to give you that it's this way for me. There's clarity that comes in, a true understanding, a very strong, valued perspective. But with the King of Swords, safety isn't always there. It's more of bigger and greater and more expansive. But it also does bring in clarity and it brings in a confidence in us. But it's our perception. We have to make sure that our perception is not just ego-driven, but it's heart-centered as well. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.